Hey everyone, back with another IPL preview video. This time it's SRH, Sunrisers Hyderabad. Losing finalists last year and many people's tips to go one better and win this tournament this year. Really interesting structure of this squad, and I want to do a deep dive into it and show some real strengths, but also some potential limitations that may manifest themselves throughout the tournament. Right, top three: Travishek, Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Ishan Kishan, the three main left-handers in this group. And then you've got a block of five right-handers, including sort of that lower order bowling options, Cummins and Harshaw, who can bat a bit. For me, it's interesting because I don't think that this left-hander block at the top can be targeted via spin as much as other teams who might have a left-handed block. Abhishek Sharma is a magnificent player of spin. I don't think that he can be vulnerable to that off-spinner matchup in particular. The right-handers lower down are also decent against spin. Nitish Kumar already, Heinrich Klaasen with excellent numbers against the spin, turning away from them. As you can see here, high strike rates, high balls per dismissal. So there's a lot of positive spin matchups for Sunrisers against the opposition spinners, which I think is going to be really to their benefit. And if we look at those sort of top five against left arm orthodox and right arm leg spin, we can see that I mean, you're not going to find that many good matchups against these guys. And playing spin well, playing opposition spin as well, is a major driver of success for teams in tournaments. So they've got that one well covered. If we're looking at their basic batting data, we can see that the top five all strike pretty well. Ishan Kishan's a bit mid-range, but the rest of them are 150 plus. With relatively decent balls per dismissal, which might surprise people given the fact that they bat with such high intent. But that's what makes Travis Head a world class batter, is that he can combine those. That any batter who can do 20 plus for balls per dismissal and boundary percentage, like he can do, like Heinrich Klaasen can do here, is an asset, and that's extremely rare for a batter to be able to do that. So that's definitely worth noting. 6 percentages are also high, as you would expect for a team built for high intent. Non-boundary strike rates are pretty low, particularly with these top three. So they're going to be boundary or bust, basically, is going to be the mentality. And could the opposition teams look to really be bang on it in the field to prevent them from scoring non-boundary runs and put them under significant pressure to hit boundaries to try and get fast starts? Definitely something to consider. A polarised group against pace. Travishek and Heinrich Klaasen and Abhinav Manohar pretty good against opposition posters. Nitish Reddy less so, but magnificent against spin, as is Abhishek, as is Heinrich Klaasen. And even for a small sample, Pat Cummins has good numbers against spin as well. We'll talk a little bit about this in terms of how that can manifest itself for entry points for different batters, and how SRH can use the impact sub to help them with that as well, a little bit later on in this video. The power play is an interesting one. Obviously, Head and Abhishek, magnificent numbers as power play batters, without parallel. Best opening duo in the tournament for my money. With Ishan Kishan, okay, but then it falls away real quick. Nitish Kumar already and Heinrich Klaasen have not had good success batting in the power play. So I wonder whether SRH might look to use Atava Taides in some form of impact sub combo, where he could actually sort of length, if they lose early wicket or two, he can lengthen the batting order to make Nitish Kumar ready and Heinrich Klaasen's entry points a little bit later, so that they can take on the opposition spinners. That's definitely something that I think that Sunrisers could consider moving forward in this tournament. And again, another left-hander who can maybe add to that block of lefties who can play spin well at the top of the order. Now, in the middle overs, this is where Sunrisers, I think, have a real advantage over other teams. Again, leading to that point of view about the delayed entry points for Nitish Kim already and Heinrich Klaassen, who are so strong in the middle overs. You really don't want to expose them to moving ball in the power play, or against premium pacers up front. So for me, that's definitely that bringing in the Tavataide is something that they could easily consider to lengthen that batting order. At the death, these guys are aggressive. If Abhishek's still there, very aggressive. Nitish, those numbers are fine. Klaassen's destructive. Manohar is fine too. So overall, they've got the ability to still take the game away from teams at the death, but they're going to have wickets in hand. And with Pat Cummins at 7, obviously there's an impact sub might lengthen that. Harsh at 8. It's a little bit light on batting depth in my opinion, and yeah, we're going to have to see how the Sunrisers batters can get themselves into positions where they can bat aggressively up top in the middle, but then still have enough hitting in hand at the death for them to hit the massive scores that they did last season. With the ball, polarised boundary percentage conceded. Nitish Kim already, Shami, Harshal, Cummins, all 20 plus. Rahul Chahar 16%, Abhishek Sharma 17%. Is a little touch high for spinners, with Adam Zampa's 13%, much higher standard. And then dot percentage earned is mid range ish, apart from Shami's, which is really really high. And then you've got a couple of other bowling options in the squad as well. Jaydev Anadkat, Simajit Singh, Anadkat. A little bit more economical than Simajit, who looks to have a real expensive wicket taking dynamic. So you can kind of make your choices there in terms of which one you use depending on the match situation. I would imagine Anadkat would probably start ahead of Simajit because of the lack of left armers in the squad and his level of experience. Plus the fact that I think that if they don't play Anadkat in some way, shape or form, they're looking a bit light with power play pace, because you can't ask Shami and Cummins to bowl 3 overs each, because then they've got nothing left at the back end and it's a bit predictable as well. They've not got a lot of spin options up front. Zampa can bowl in the spin, has done well, but hasn't bowled a huge percentage of his overs in that power play. Rahul Chahar, Harshal Patel, Nitish Kumar Reddy very, very rarely bowl in the power play. So I feel like this pace trio is probably a way forward. So maybe if they're bowling first, they can start with an Adkat and then bring in a Tavataide or Aniket Verma to then improve the batting second half of the match when they're batting. Middle overs is fine. Adam Zampa, Rahul Chahar, spin options. Abhishek Sharma also provided spin options. They kind of do have that little bit of off spinner from Travis Head against left combos, but I don't think they use it very often. And then you've got Cummins and Nadkat and the introduction of Harshal Patel into the bowling attack, into the middle overs. And then at death, you've got Harshal, you've got Cummins, and you've got Shami. It's okay, death-wise. I wouldn't say that it's the best in the comp. It's passable, but I think a slight concern there for SRH in terms of that death bowling quality. Okay, so why did I choose this preferred combo? Because I'm not sure they really have many other options. They could leave out Zampa and pick Wiaan Mulder as an overseas all-rounder instead. This gives more batting depth, obviously, but it then constricts their spin bowling options. And I'm not sure it really helps them in terms of power play bowling either, which I think is a slight concern for them. They definitely need to get creative over the impact sub, and like I said earlier, Tide could come in with an early wicket lost, maybe coming in for an Adcat if SRH bowl first, and vice versa if SRH bat first. Talking points and Twitter questions, got plenty of them. Will their lack of batting depth hurt them? It's definitely a concern for me because I don't think that they're gonna. They've got enough depth to go ultra aggressive all the time. There's going to be a bit of a hero or zero dynamic to this squad. Maybe some days they're going to hit way over 200, and other days they're going to fold in a heat. We saw that a little bit last season, and yeah, that's probably a slight concern. Fourth overseas spot debate was definitely rife on Twitter as well, with Head, Clarkson, and Cummins pretty much nailed on to play every game as overseas. So the fourth overseas spot, Wiaan Mulder or Adam Zampa. I think that'll probably go Zampa to start with, but let's see how that affects their combos moving through the tournament. And the other questions that I got about the three left-handers at the top being exploited by opposition off-spinners, I kind of answered that already. I don't think it's a major problem. So, I mean, they're all good players of spins, particularly Abhishek, so I don't see that being a major issue at all. The player in focus, well, I had to go with two because Travishek last season were absolutely outstanding at the top of the order. How do you split them? I'm not sure you can. By far the most destructive opening duo last season in the comp, and they're going to be vital for SRH's success this season. If they have a great season, SRH will have a great season. If they struggle, then SRH could struggle. So a lot of it's going to be on those opening two batters. Strengths, I was impressed with SRH's ability to create a really strong starting 11, which was, I think, in debate before the auction because they'd spent a lot of money on retentions. But the 11 broadly picks itself with impact subs options with bat and ball. And they've got the potential to create lots of left-left and left-right combos, which can cause opposition matchup planning. For example, if we're into the middle overs and Abhishek and either Head or Kishan are still batting, it's really difficult to see an opposition team wanting to use left-arm orthodox spinners against them at that point. So you've got that left-left, which delays entry points for opposition players and messes around with their matchup planning. Weaknesses, squad depth, I think, is a major hurdle. They lack proven backups. They had to sacrifice that squad depth to create a strong 11 after they spent so much money on retention. So I think that was a compromise that they were probably resigned to taking and being comfortable with that. And the same with that lack of batting depth. I've also highlighted the non-boundary run production at the top of the order already, and that boundary or bust dynamic kind of thing. I think there's several injury doubts over Cummins, who missed the Champions Trophy, and Mohamed Shami, who seems to be okay now, but is obviously coming off the back of a long-term injury. And the replacement players are not nearly at their levels, so that's a potential issue. Can we get consistent game time out of these two? Would be something that the Sunrisers management will probably be a little bit worried about. They don't have a left-arm pacer unless in AdCap plays, so he'll probably add balance if he does do that. And I've mentioned about the impact sub implications as well. Power play bowling and death bowling are okay, but they don't really hugely inspire me. Shami's excellent in the power play, but Cummins doesn't have amazing numbers in that phase, and so they might have to bring in Jaydev and Adcat as well, like I said. Death bowling, well, they've got players who can play that role, but again, not outstanding operators at the death. They don't have the locked overs that I think some other teams do. So maybe some slight issues there, but overall, I think a really strong team, a strong core. But there's still a lot of variance in this squad. I think with the reliance on a few star batters. And a pretty thin squad if injuries hit. So look, let's see. Definitely a squad that's capable of doing very, very well qualifying. I think they could easily be considered one of the favourites for the tournament. Although there's definitely a low floor as well for this squad if it all goes wrong. So it's a high ceiling, low floor squad. I'm going to say they qualify, but there's going to be some roller coasters on the way. I think that's pretty sure. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do like and subscribe. Share this with your friends, especially the friends who are Sunrisers fans. Share this on social media. Please do tag me on Twitter. Anything that you want to know, give me a shout, and I'll do my best to answer. Looking forward to the tournament that starts tomorrow.